this around. Show you something to that. The heck is that at it? That beer has not slept at all. I slept for a few hours. What time is it? Let's see if we can make it out. 8:15 on the 13th of October. It's a Monday. Thank goodness it's not Friday the 13th. October, Halloween month. Horror stories are being revealed continually since I came back to my flat in July. In the name of confessions and admissions of criminals. So, this hacker is currently doing a lot. My camera cannot be accessed because it's being used by another application. My camera was on because I was trying to record a live video on there. So, let's see. We're going to try and stop it anyway. That's not really the height. Let's talk about what's going on. So I got these masks just for my pleasure. I was going to be modeling once upon a time, and I wanted these masks, and I couldn't get them. I think it works. I am wearing them over something. Oh, my glasses. If I do wear contacts, I could totally work it out. So anyway, I have a friend. I'd rather say acquaintance because I still don't really know this person. We can start from 2025. Confessions that of a radicalist who's been revealing a lot, directly and indirectly, about how he came to that flat right next door. Hey. So apparently, the radicalist terrorist next door calls himself Zubir. I'm not sure if that's his real name, but that's the name I saw on a letter, a 3 bill last year in October, when it was put in my post. Hey. I'm not sure what the purpose was of putting the letter in my post, considering there are post boxes right next to mine, and it could have just gone in there. But they did have this thing about trying to ambush me on my way to the post box. You can't hear me. Alrighty, let's see if we can improve this volume. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now? My volume was really, really low. Alrighty then. So, I had a situation. Can you hear me now? Did you hear the first parts at all? Alright, so we're talking about the horror stories that I'm discovering as confessions. Goodness gracious, I've come across some very evil people. I could have been one of those really, really evil people. Okay, yeah, that's yes, you can hear me. Oh, yes. Okay, let me carry on. Try to write a few more words so I keep up with your comments too. But I'm going to try to focus on the issue at hand. Do you know, I'm not even sure if the other video finished uploading. So yesterday, I uploaded another video of these confessions and revelations by radicalists. But today, another rude awakening to the revelations of this situation. I suppose there has to be a revealing to redeem me. Because today, one of my enemies, biggest, should I say, totally underestimated this kiddo. So we were born in the same year. She was born in October or November, something like that. I was born in July. My birth was announced because two men prayed. Two men prayed for my life to be here on this earth. From my maternal side, a pact had been made with evil because of pain. Wonderful. Wonderful that you're subscribed. Please do share. So a pact had been made with evil because of pain. The first respondent was a very evil fallen angel who promised someone in my lineage that, okay, you can have what you want, but there is a price to pay. There will be no children going forward, no one to carry your lineage or carry the message going forward about your generations. But after two men prayed, having married this woman's first daughter, who was then my birth mother, she's still alive today, but she became a pastor. I'll get to that. Her first daughter got married to someone who was prayerful or learning to pray. So he prayed with someone. And voila, that is how I begin. So, it's like two planets came together. One that knew about the evil and was probably comfortable with maybe nothing will happen. The other was living whatever other evil, but grew up in a Christian setting, coming from African royalty. So there was already a lot of evil, originally from Zakaranopisa, where Shumbajiji's people. So royal wars, whatnot, decided to abdicate the throne and pursue God, pursue Christianity. Left whatever business there was there, went all the way down south. So then became Daniso people instead. So I think part of the problem was they didn't want to have multiple wives because of the dangers of all that jazz. So my birth father's people went down south, started mixing with people from down south. So met with South Africans. And so that's how I am part South African. Whereas from the dark side of my paternal side, I'm part Nigerian and part Portuguese. And then with all the migration and all that, I'm born in Zimbabwe. So, okay. Hey. So, I I was born, and then a few months later, I'm going to try and cut it short. A few months later, another child was born somewhere else. This child this morning revealed that when they were born, they ate their siblings. Okay, I'm sorry. I laugh in awkward moments, but come to the UK. Mm, I'll continue. I'll be reading the comments. Um, so what's gonna happen if I come to the UK? Mm, okay. Oh, whereabouts? Okay, okay. So, I okay, that's interesting. Let's see. Okay, back to my story. Um, email me, James. Let's hear your story. So are you staying in the Highlands? Oh, thank you. Are you staying in the Highlands where it gets really, really cold? Hmm. Interesting. Interesting offer. All right. Cities are a bit warmer. Alrighty then. Don't disclose your location here, but yeah, send it to my email. So, um, uh, yeah, we're hitting the UK. Um, because I'm going to mention it at some point. So, I was born in Zimbabwe, and I have quite a difficult situation. So, roll on from Zimbabwe. I'm going to be jumping up here and there because I don't have a script in front of me. I just wing it depending on whatever confessions at the moment. Today, this is quite intentional. I have to try and remember the confession. James, it would be interesting if you joined me in the videos one day. Today, well, I'm pretty much done with my DIY stuff that I was doing. So, we're going to be seeing what's happening. Cool. Which part of the UK are you from? I think I'm going to have to do another video. Yeah. How old are you? How mature are you? Oh, Manchester. I once got lost at this big roundabout in Manchester when I drove there. It's quite interesting. Oh, nice. I'm 42. So, um, yeah, yeah. Um, so I was saying, so I was born in Zimbabwe, and then I was just finding out this morning that someone a few months younger said she was totally eating her siblings. You thought I was 21. Is that why you laughed? I do get this quite often. But you have my youngest guess yet. That's like half my age. I've been getting this since I was 28. So it's quite interesting. And then I actually got tricked into dating younger guys, which was, I was horrified at first until, oh no, no, that's okay. I found out when this guy when he passed his driving lesson, totally tricked me. But I loved him all the same. And then, life happens and then you grow and keep it moving. Is it okay? I think we will have to do it. That's interesting. Would you trick someone into dating you? In my language, we have this thing. I think that's what he actually did. Hey, subscribed. Nice one. Good call. Okay. I'm going to have to do another video. Okay, so I was saying, this girl, she was born a few months later. And I met her here in the UK a few years ago, maybe around 2013. Oh my goodness. Didn't this girl force a friendship on me? I really resisted. I really did not want. By then, I was a community builder and had just started my path into ministry. I was a gospel musician on stage and everything, like personally. But before that, I had already been on stage on a bigger stage. It took me to an international stage in Zimbabwe. That's pretty cool. So, it was pretty cool. And had this situation where this girl had forced a friendship on me because I had a mentee who was recommending for me to help people. I would step into things cautiously, only if I was led to. I had to put her in a place once. And then that's when I guess she started recommending me to other people. So when she recommended this person, I really resisted because I really didn't feel that I needed to step into that person's gates at all or accommodate her. I really resisted it. But it worked out okay for me at some point because as a student, I needed somewhere to stay. But after a short stay, I needed to really get out of that place. It was not okay. I had someone call me during that time. Little did I know this girl had already hacked me. She'd already hacked my Google Docs. So this guy was probably trying to rescue me. Sadly, we met once and then didn't see each other for a year. Then the next time, that girl did help me again to get to my student res. That trouble I had in place. Actually, no, it makes sense. The trouble I had in that place. My goodness, this girl must have been so evil. I could have been really, really dark and hard-hearted and all that. But I had to choose because of the things that were happening around me. I was introduced to such darkness, very, very young. But I had to choose. Because at some point, I guess, I was being presented with that choice with which side do you want? I think Lucifer himself had actually come as he had promised my grandmother. Whatever books they had, I'm not sure of it, but the contract had been there and it had been broken and I had been born. But then it was presented to me and I had to choose between God and Lucifer. For a while I thought, this guy's scary. Maybe I should go with him. And then I snapped out of it after a little bit. I was like, God actually created Lucifer. What the heck? The most powerful, omnipotent, omnipresent. What am I doing choosing Lucifer? What am I doing choosing his creation? The one who can break out of anything. And I thought, I'm hearing all these stories about how like people like Moses, Abraham, and so on chose to follow, and then they started seeing the reality of God. It's like, I'm making the choice here. I think I need to really choose God. I was seeing so many things growing up, and it wasn't because of the cartoons I was watching. The evil was live. Goodness gracious. So around 2019, I think, I started finding out about my destiny and how it was supposed to be restored. Guess what happened? The heat was turned up, right up. I got in a car accident. And then someone stepped up into a more obvious role against my life. You'd never believe it. The birth mother. Actually, it is believable. Some people, do you know what? They actually give up their children into foster care in countries where the systems like that, so that they don't harm their children. Some people will actually ask someone else to take care of them so that they keep their children safe. But on the 28th of October, I actually had mine in my adulthood call me to give a signal to the rest of the round table beasts that were coming for me. I was going to pick up a priest because I knew I was on a marriage journey and I knew it was too much for me. I was scared to put my hands over my birth mother's head to help her snap out of it. She was totally diving into the sea. Instead of swimming against the tide, which she totally could, she decided to go with the flow. Oh, the torrent was real. So, oh, you're back. Okay, so the torrent was real. The battle was real. I was discovering so many people who were after my marital blessing. It was like I was walking around with a little pouch. Everybody wanted to grab it. Little pouch. Just after years of breaking out of financial bondage. That's where I had been locked in. Shortly after that, my birth mother lost her sister, her half sister. So the other part of my grandmother's lineage was from a different background. So my part Um, it would be scarier if I wasn't a Christian, if I wasn't pursuing God's rescue over my life. As a total horror story. But yeah, long story short, in my adulthood, before I met this girl called Lucy, I had already discovered the beauty of breaking out of bondages. Totally cool, but really, really painful in the sense of finding out what you're battling sometimes. It's not always easy taking in the truths around your situation. It was not very easy finding out a lot of things. It can be quite heavy. But I thank God that I found out most of the stuff on my own. In private, I was writing things down privately here and there. Some things you just could not write it down. It just had to be dealt with. Couldn't understand it, just dealt with it, and yeah, just thankful that okay, there's a breakthrough there. You know, the Spirit of God is just what it is, like a wind. You can't contain it. You can't always say, it's over there, it's over there. He just does what he does with you if you're willing. And yeah, you break out of it. So when it was now time to break out of generational curses altogether, I was shown that, okay, you need to settle down. It's great that you minister and that many people have having breakthroughs. But you are not realizing that you need to really be loved by someone and be settled. I need to love you through someone. That was my message at the time from God. And so I had picked up this priest. I had just hoped that I was going to have the person pray and that they would have been discerning over why I was inviting them and I wouldn't have to say much. It just so happened they were coming to England and I just hoped that, oh God, just talk to them. Let it just work out. So I don't have to say too much. But they did try to dig it out of me. And then kind of let me know, okay, we can't just do something unless she opens up and gives up her things. Me, my birth mother. Anyway, she was really angry the night before when I said I'm going to pick up the priest tomorrow and accommodate him in my room as they're in transit. When he got there, she did her thing. Smile and wave. But she was so angry. And we just had a car accident. From the time that I had the call, there were car accidents on the journey coming back. And sometimes when you see that on the motorways, they might have cleared by the time you're coming back. They didn't clear. They only increased the pileups. Police couldn't even get through. When the accident happened, they only advised, you know what, just try and get to the nearest police station because there's chock-a-block up there. There's been too much happening on that motorway today, unusually. So eventually, the amazing thing is that heaven came through for us. It was a terrible accident. A big trucker, very big trucker, hit us. I couldn't even control the steering wheel. It was racing, spinning all the way. I just looked at it and I could see a car coming at us, all being pushed into the traffic. Ooh, there can be miracles. There was certainly a miracle. I was just looking at things. It was just like flashing. Don't move. There's a moth on your face. Oh no. Where? Where? Yeah. So, um, so I was totally saved in that situation. But my bones, my nervous system, it took a while to find out what was really going on with it. It really took a while because I had all these professionals, specialists that I had to see privately and stuff, private care, and they still couldn't put their fingers on it. When I was with them, I could do the movements, the exercises. Sometimes they could spot that, okay, there's something like this. My teeth, they really didn't know what to do with it. I'll show you, but I don't really want to. They really couldn't figure it out. Hey, short videos. So they really couldn't figure it out. Eventually, they just decided, oh, my hackers had somehow interfered. Eventually, my dentist just decided, oh, there's nothing wrong with your teeth. And yet, I really should have been compensated because that day, my tooth, okay, I really didn't want to show you, but my tooth, I have a tooth that's out of place. Some people think it's cute. But now I think I really have to get it fixed because it's a problem. So, and it's totally come down a bit more, like gravity has pulled it out a little bit. So it was shaking for a long time. They didn't know whether to take it out or it started getting stronger when things were ambiguous. It started setting in place instead of falling. I didn't want it to fall out. So I actually did say, please, no, I can't have a gap in my tooth. So, yeah. And then retracted. Oh dear. Alrighty. So what then happened is I recovered from the whole accident situation. Thank goodness. I joined this Bible school. I was already in another Bible school with the church that I was going to. I couldn't finish. I didn't even get mitigating circumstances. But I think I was acing my exams. But this journey was so sensitive. Very sensitive. Very, very sensitive. I had to be very careful. Anyway, 2019, I ran away from that family home because my birth mother was lurking around the corridors in our lovely big home. I used to imagine walking down the stairs in my big, lovely white dress to marry whoever was coming for me. So that's not possible. I've had to dissociate since they disowned me. And it's okay. I just have to make a legal move so that, I can still get into my own family situation, relationship and marriage wise, because I think they did me a favor to disown me so that I can actually get a move on legally. But by the time I moved into my own flat, my own space, They came after me, and anyway, I had to go back anyway. I needed a bed, and I had furnished the other big house, and I thought, you know what? This is the time. This is not the time. I'd already been recovering from a car accident. This is not the time to be sleeping on the floor like this. So I had to go back and borrow a bed. Very good beds I had invested in. Very good beds. It's still lasting, you know. So, but when I tried to get another one, I had very, very good taste out of my reach. So I had to stick it out for a bit more. I think the warfare was already turned on. So I found out that I was living next door to criminals. Ooh. I'm really hoping you guys didn't hear that. So I've been in a relationship with someone, and then they went off and got married to someone else. I think he cheated on me twice in that relationship. And in this case, he went off and married this girl, apparently introduced by the girl who was born a few months after me, whose name is Lucy. So the guy and the girl moved on. Apparently, the girl knew him because she was dating the cousin, who I used to call a cousin. So they were already sleeping together, but then she spotted the money cousin. I didn't really know the money part of this guy that I was dating until one day I kind of listened to something. I think. I'm not really sure how I found out. But like I was totally just chill. I just thought he was a hard worker, you know. But I was fine with him as long as I was praying. I think he was okay with me too. I think he was going through a lot because he kept on saying he wanted to retire early. He was having a tough time in his job. And I was just completing my studies by that time when we lived together briefly. While I was completing my studies, my head was stuck in the book. Oh my goodness. And then I passed. We used to talk about my assignments. This guy would totally claim everything. Like, see what I taught you? Anytime that I presented something or like I was stuck, yeah, he's like encourage me and stuff. Pretty okay. Cool. All right. Anyway, so that's when I was studying in my nursing degree. It was such a tough gig. Such a tough gig. But here and there, I used to take care of homeless people, just cook a meal, put it in lunch boxes. I was okay going to bed on cornflakes, then just walk around the area, give the lunch boxes out. Until one day you told me off and he was like, you need to calm down about this business. I was like, oh. But what I understood at the time was that there's a blessing in helping people who are in less privileged positions, because sometimes you don't know who you are helping. Some people have welcomed angels while you do that, and it totally burns off some bad vibes for you. So I did some sacrificial giving. But when you did advise that, I did take note because I thought, yes, of course, I have to be within my bounds. I have to see what's up. Because sometimes you don't know who might be that witch who hands Snow White that apple. So I didn't do it all the time. And sometimes I did get a bad vibe like, don't stop at that person. Keep going. Or today, don't do that at all. So, yeah, it was a balanced kind of situation. So this girl, Lucy, had helped me out to move into these student halls where I used to do that sort of thing. I was having so much trouble in that place. It got quite uncomfortable. It was a very classy place. Top of the range kind of situation. It was like living in an hotel apartment, but or like a condo. But we did have a shared kitchen situation, but then I never had anyone to share with for a long time. Then this girl, it turns out she's pretending to be a Christian. She had already found out about me. So her help was totally like the witch who gives Snow White the apple. Oh my goodness gracious. She's totally following me around. Borrowing money from me as things as a student. And then I may have just tested her to borrow some money off her once when she reached out, once I was in my property. Then I gave it back after a while. But I think she was still owing me too. So, bit of a tricky situation. But today I found out she was confessing. Oh, last year, she rang me up to give me some money. And I thought it was a little bit odd. No, not. Was it last year or the year before? Can't remember. Oh no, it was last year. It was a little bit odd because I had my own money. So at first, she just called about it. She was going to send me products. And then in the last moment, she decided to send me money. A few months later, I started hearing that she's been talking about that money, that, oh, it was totally for her ritual. This girl, when she gave me the money, she was talking about memory verses that she's praying about her journey to marriage, blah, blah, blah. So what had happened was when we finally had got into a situation where we gathered with other prayerful people, someone had prophesied over her that she was on her way to marriage. I had been having those messages, but then this time I was really grateful that they did not say anything about my journey to marriage. I was really, really grateful. I really did not want that girl to hear any of that stuff. And so I totally played dumb. And she was telling me that, oh, you're going to be my bridesmaid. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, she then let on that she was in a relationship, but tried to totally destroy the guy and had shared secrets of a big company. I don't think I should mention the company, but they fired her when he then gave her up. It was totally unprofessional. You don't sell out a company. If you're in a relationship, you just do your thing, isn't it? Anyway, totally destiny destroying move that she was trying to do against this guy. And then I find out in 2025 that actually he's not the only one. She was doing that to me. She was doing that even to the guy I was in a relationship with. For her to introduce someone else to marry that guy, that was totally a destiny destroying move that she did to both of us. So I feel like this video is getting too long. 45 minutes. We're gonna do a part 2, guys. I'm coming.